What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Runs on Diesel. And what a championship weekend we had here in the NFL. And we're just going to go right off into it. You know, we all know about Kansas City. And can this offense be stopped by a 49ers defense? That's the real question here. I mean, we obviously know all the numbers, but the big difference in this game is 60% third down conversion by Kansas City. Tennessee, won the possession game, but that didn't matter. Their defense could not stop Patrick Mahomes and company. And to be honest, Sammy Watkins, I wasn't expecting to go off in this game, but here we go. Sammy Watkins goes off in this game. Tyreek Hill has 2 touchdown catches. They took Travis Kelce right out of the game, but that didn't matter because Travis Kelce is one of the best blocking tight ends in the game, in the running game. And, I mean, Damian Williams only had, it was like 46 yards rushing, but he did score a touchdown. But Damian Williams had almost 90 scrimmage yards in this game. And, I mean, they couldn't stop him either. I know 90 scrimmage yards doesn't sound like much, but when you have 5 catches for 45 yards, plus 45 yards in the run game, I mean, I consider that to be a good game for any running back. They can't guard you. They can't defend you in the run game as well as the pass game. So Damian Williams had a great game as well. I mean, what else can I say about this game? It was pretty obvious Patrick Mahomes and company were going to win this game. Even though I was rooting for Tennessee, the whole Cinderella story here. But, that's the way the game is played. And here we go. The old school versus the new school. And the new school won this football game. Derrick Henry was... we had that touchdown, but only 69 yards rushing in this game. And I give credit to the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense played Derrick Henry perfectly, even though I will say this, Tannehill looked great in the game. Once again, Tennessee doesn't turn the ball over, and I believe that's the reason why they had a 17-7 lead before Patrick Mahomes and company were like, okay, now we can put on our shoes and tie them up tight. Now we're going to play this game real tough, and we're not going to let up off the gas pedal. And that's what Kansas City does to you. And we saw that 2 weeks ago when they played Houston in the divisional round where they were down 24-0 and came back before halftime. They had the lead before halftime. So, I give credit to the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's going to be difficult for this 49ers defense to hold up this Kansas City offense. They have so many weapons on this offense, so we'll see what happens. And then obviously we know about San Francisco beating the Green Bay Packers here. Difference in this game was turnovers really much. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, 2 interceptions, and then, they lost a fumble earlier in the game, and it's like, and then Mostert, oh my goodness, I mean, wasn't expecting him to be that much of a spark after Tevin Coleman goes out with, I believe, a dislocated shoulder. And it sounds like he's going to be probable for the Super Bowl. But other than that, I mean, Mostert, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, the Packers defense had no answer for Mostert. And it was just like, okay, didn't see this guy coming. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting over 220 scrimmage yards from the second string running back, but you give credit where credit's due. Garoppolo only threw the ball 8 times for 77 yards. I mean, this is just like what Ryan Tannehill was doing with Tennessee. He threw the ball 29 times before the Kansas City game. For under 200 yards passing, and they won both of those games against that high-powered Baltimore team and against the defending champs in New England. Here we go again. And now it comes down to the question of who's my Super Bowl pick going to be. We have a fantastic 49ers defense against a fantastic offense in Kansas City. And I'm sorry, I'm an old school guy. And I'm going to pick the 49ers defense, and I believe the 49ers will win it. They've been consistent all year long. No one has an answer for Buckner and Nick Bosa. No one's got an answer for these 2 guys. Their pass rush is unreal, and then their secondary is really good. Look at Richard Sherman, 4th career interception in the postseason. And I think that for Kansas City to win this game, they have to have no turnovers. Mahomes needs to not have, minimal, give up only 2-3 sacks in this game. Very minimal. It's got to be a spotless game for this Kansas City Chiefs to win this football game. And I mean, that includes the penalty game too. They had 9 penalties in the AFC title, in this game. And I'm just thinking the only way they're going to beat San Francisco is they're flawless on offense. Kelsey's a freak. Tyreek Hill's a freak. Sammy Watkins, they're going to need him. They're going to need Hardman. They're going to need Robinson. They're going to need every single wide receiver in this game. Damian Williams is going to have a big performance, but they cannot turn the ball over. They cannot fumble the ball. They cannot have any penalties, and that's what's going to be the difference in this game. And I'm not saying the 49ers, I'm not letting the gas pedal off of Jimmy G either. Jimmy G needs to have a flawless game too. But if Mostert is going to go off like he just did in the NFC title game, I mean, Jimmy G doesn't need to do much to win the football game. He only has to throw it 10, 15 times, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. This is going to be, and the big thing with me with Super Bowls is whoever gets to 20 points first wins the football game. And, obviously we know last year's Super Bowl, it was only 13-3 because New England's defense was just on fire. And then we will always have the what if question of Todd Gurley in that Super Bowl, even though CJ Anderson had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games leading into Super Bowl 53. But, for me, I just think that San Francisco's defense has been too far and too good. And this kind of reminds me of someone else who's in their first couple of years with a new team. It reminds me of Tom Brady somewhat. Jimmy G in his first Super Bowl, even though he has a ring with New England being a backup quarterback. For me, now the spotlight's on Jimmy G and what can he actually do with this football team, and can he lead them to a Super Bowl? Because I'll be honest, the defense has been the reason why they got there. I mean, you see what they did to Aaron Rodgers. You see what they did to the Minnesota Vikings. They were just, the pass rush is just too much for these offenses. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers played a fantastic game. I mean, besides the 2 interceptions, he threw for over 300 yards. Devontae Adams had a great game. They kept Devontae Adams away from Richard Sherman as much as possible. And then when they need to be desperate and go for it, Richard Sherman gets the pick on Devontae Adams. Well, he just outran everyone to the ball, just to ice the game. But that's my pick. San Francisco 49ers win Super Bowl 54. But Jimmy Garoppolo better be careful, because if the defense doesn't hold up against Patrick Mahomes, Jimmy G is going to need to air out this football. That's the only way they're going to come close to even making it a football game. But I think the defense is going to keep Patrick Mahomes and company tamed for I could say at least the first half of the football game, because these two teams haven't played each other all season. So we will see what happens, but write that down. 49ers is my pick. Obviously, stay tuned for more videos coming up. Obviously, my NBA All-Decade team will be coming out very shortly. Stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Go 49ers. Obviously, we have 2 weeks until a football game. I just think having a bye week in the middle of the title game and the Super Bowl is kind of weird. And putting the Pro Bowl in the middle of it is for me, it's kind of a letdown. But I would rather just see the Super Bowl this Sunday and not the following Sunday. But anyways, I will see you guys' faces in the next one. Deuces.